Hello, I'm Bob Risch with the Caveat Institute. Today, I want to talk about something that most people spend their entire lives trying to avoid: fear. So today, we're going to talk about how to make fear your biggest asset. The first thing to understand is that courage doesn't mean you're never afraid. Courage means you don't let fear stop you. You say things like, I can't do it. It's too big of a risk, or it's too scary. Or what about this one? I need to stay at my job because it's too big of a risk to start my own business without a guaranteed income. Or your families convince you to say that, and you allow fear to make you settle for less. Fear keeps you from becoming successful because it will make you believe that you can't do it. It's too big of a risk. It's too scary. When you control your fear and use it to drive you, it will become your biggest asset. 72% of the population is going to avoid fear, and often they will avoid it at all costs. It could be changing careers, getting married, choosing a college, going on vacation, or any change in a life will cause fear. People are afraid of change. I recall when I was a child going to the circus. Although there were many aspects of the circus to watch, I was intrigued by the trapeze. The way they swing from bar to bar without even looking or grabbing onto another bar or person, they just turned and grabbed. They turned and grabbed the bar or stood on the platform. They didn't seem to have any fear, or did they? 72% of the population are going to avoid fear at all costs, because regardless of what you do, there will always be a level of fear. The key is to understand your fear. When fear is too high, it will cripple you. Now, when fear is too low, the problem is you will become complacent. It is important to understand that fear can propel you towards your goals, or it will prevent you from your potential, and it's your choice. Regardless of what you do, there will always be that level of fear. Thinking about the trapeze, it is not that fear is not present. The trapeze knows that there is a safety net below to catch them in the event that they fall. The risk is reduced. Yes. Could there be an injury in the fall? Yes. Could there be an injury of how they land? Absolutely. But the risk is greatly reduced because the net is called a safety net. It is to protect them from the risk of injury when they fall. It lowers the risk. Many people will not attempt the trapeze because they perceive the risk as too high. They see it as too high to attempt. They don't see the net as a safety net. They see the risk and they freeze. I remember watching a sitcom called Alice as a child. I know this may date some of you, as some of you are shaking your heads yes. There was an episode on this particular show where Vera, one of the waitresses, wanted to trap Mel in the back room. When Mel, the owner of the restaurant, entered the room, she threw the net over him. This time, not for the purpose of safety, but to trap him. When a net is over you, it is a trap. At first glance, being under a net might appear to be safety, might appear to be the safe place, because you might think that you're hiding or you're avoiding something. But the reality is when the net is over you, it is always a trap. What appears to be safety is actually the trap, is what most people miss. Using the net for perceived safety may appear to lower the risk, but the reality is it increases the risk. What appears to be safety is the trap, and what appears to be risky is the safety area. The safety net provides the safety, yet people perceive the risk. A trap appears to be safe, and in actuality, it increases the risk. Isn't that crazy? Because how we perceive the risk, that is what's important. Understanding fear is vital, because fear will keep you sharp and focused, or it will cripple you, and you will never reach your potential. The key to using fear as your biggest asset is to focus on the reality of the situation, because there are 3 steps in using fear and not hiding from it. The first step, be prepared. It is important to be prepared ahead of time and not wait till the last minute. Knowing the plan and goals beforehand controls your fear because you have a game plan. You've already anticipated of what may happen in many different areas. The second step is be present. Whether you are speaking to a group of people, presenting a project, or doing your job each day, it is important to be present. Focus on what you should be doing, when you should be doing it, whether you feel like it or not. When you are focused, you are not thinking about things that are not important at that particular moment. The third step is to be prompt. I believe this is the most important. Be on time. When you are on time, you are showing people around you that their time is important. You are able to relax and focus on what you should be doing. When you are late, not only are you more stressed, but the people around you are stressed as well. Fear is one of the biggest barriers to success. You often face your fear by settling for less. What seems to be taking a safe route is often the route of greater risk. The reason people often don't reach their dreams is not always because of the fear of failure. It is because they misinterpret the safety net. Fear will keep you sharp and focused, or it will cripple you and you will never reach your potential. It's important to understand that fear can be your greatest asset. How do you see it? Do you see it as a stepping stone to move forward? Or do you see it as a stumbling block that allows you and convinces you to settle for less? And there is the caveat. Have a great day.